So money and love, isn't that what everybody wants to know about?
Money and love. So, how are you?
I'm good. I just got like my third no from investors in the last week because I'm too early. Onward.
I find myself bringing up the word like resilience and perseverance. If you often sometimes think of the title of your book, your memoir. I feel like essays on perseverance and other words I hate because I feel like when perseverance and resilience comes up, people give it to me as a compliment, but it means that I'm going through a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why does life have to be so tough?
You don't really have a choice, right? Like, I don't know. It's the same thing. There's a lot of cancer patients I've talked to who are like, I hate when people are like, oh, you're so strong. You're like, fuck you. What else am I going to do? Like, it's like a universal difficult moment for everybody. And I think, we're just trying to stay afloat and figure out the schedule. And the like added layer for me is that my landlord just sold our house and we might get kicked out by the new people. And I don't know where we're going to go. And I'm obviously not like going apartment hunting right now. So,
well, hopefully they have some empathy and humanity during this closing period.
Yeah.
What questions have been coming up for you? Decisions that you feel like you need to make, any anxieties that you have?
The things I'm worried about are my business and getting it funded. I believe that some investor person out there is the right person for me and my business who's like a real strategic partner. But I would love to know that I'm going to find that person. Do you buckle down and just keep trudging forward? Or is it really like, no, we are in the midst of an enormous tide change and it would be better to just pause and reflect instead of doubling down. So will my doubling down efforts pay off? And will I find that right financial partner? Will I have a place to live in 2 weeks? But I just know I'm going to get through it. So any confirmation that, yes, I will get through it from your cards would be great.
Of course. Well, I don't even have to read your cards to tell you that you're going to get through it. Like, duh. Right. But let's see. So I did, thank you for giving me so much detail because I drew 6 cards. The past influence is the Prince of Summer. Falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience.
I think I've had a really tumultuous adulthood for lots of reasons. I'm someone who really embraces risk and change. I think my only stability is my inner stability. All of my calmness is something that I've been able to summon up for myself. But I just know I'm going to get through it.
So this is the present point of vantage. This is kind of how you're thinking about your life, your question, your situation right now. There's going to be other aspects that we'll read about, but this one is the Two of Winter. And the Two of Winter has to do with indecision. So it says, indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. What made you smile?
Because I think I'm someone who's really rational, and I try to rationalize my feelings a lot. And even when I want to do something that's emotional, I try to think about why, but like I don't act on my emotion very often.
Is there anything else that feels like there's a lot of indecision and like what's best for you?
Probably with the business.
Yeah.
And, the overall strategy around fundraising. My fundraising strategy in the beginning was to find high net worth individuals who had a tie to the cause, who were patient and mission driven with me, And then a few months ago, I was like, no, I need to bring in more money faster, and I should be talking to VCs and angel groups and be going after institutional capital, even though I know that really changes my life in a way that I'm not psyched about. And the expectations are really different. And maybe that those people are all saying no to me is a sign. And I go back to looking for humans. It's just a really hard time for individuals right now, especially who had a lot of money in the stock market.
Fundraising is really difficult because you have to be prepared to hear a lot of no's. And then this card can be a little confusing because you're like, am I hearing a lot of no's because this is like just the fact of what I'm trying to do, or is this a sign that I'm not heading in the right direction? So there might be some type of balance where it's like, I will reach out to 10 more people, and if 5 of those people say no or something, then like that's the sign I'm looking for or something. So believe, yes. The next card is what you resist. Okay. And it's the 7 of Summer. No more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. There are pros and cons to virtually every decision. The situation you're currently in is demanding a choice from you, and procrastination is simply no longer an option. Recognizing that you always have a choice is a great realization about your personal power. However, it also means that you are responsible for the outcomes of your choices. Why you have a smirk on your face? What's that making you think about?
It's a thing that I say all the time, like as a parent, where I'm like, you have a choice. You always have a choice. It's like this or this, and you have to make the decision, and you have to deal with the consequences.
Is there anything else in your life that like you feel like there's a choice you're not making?
I mean, I spend like 90% of my thoughts on the business. I think like just rather than worrying about the minutia of each thing, maybe zooming out a little bit on the whole big picture.
Okay, so the next card is unexpected help, which is the 8 of Spring. So it's a weird card to, like, the first thing it says is stress that comes from having many things happening at once, which is weird, like that would be unexpected help.
Right?
But maybe that stress has brought you to me and this conversation, and we still have this card and 2 more to go. But it also says successful multitasking and sudden events or changes. So this card represents a decision. Every card has a decision, right? A decision to leave a situation that's no longer in your highest good. You've made this choice on your own. It hasn't been pushed upon you. It may seem challenging, or it may seem like a wonderful relief, perhaps even an adventure. Oh, interesting. Because under additional meanings of the card, it says leaving home. So there is some turning point that's approaching. But it is like, it also, like, I think what you hit on right a few minutes ago about taking a step back, looking at the strategic plan, like this card also is about searching for deeper truths and like looking more deeply. So the next right step is also a spring card. Spring cards are great. 2 of Spring. This is nice. A bright future manifested through hard work and creativity. Partnering with others who share your dreams. Great progress being made. That's exciting.
That's a nice one. I like that one.
Yes. It does hit on something for me in knowing you. Is just like you are a hard worker, and it's like the creativity, the like trying to come up with like a unique solution or perspective, and again, possibly taking a step back might be the way to find that. If you had every possible resource at your disposal, what brave new steps would you take? I love that question because sometimes we as entrepreneurs, particularly in this situation, come from a place of lack and fear, and to take a step back again and ask yourself, like, what would I do if I had all the money? Or like, what would I do if coronavirus wasn't a thing right now?
I'm
The
still
past,
thinking
yes.
about what I would do with if I had all the money. I'm like, I know exactly what I would do.
So then how can you do some of those things? Do you really only need, like, besides production?
I would hire a team. I've
Mhm.
been courting people who are like mission aligned for one reason or another, who fill my gaps for years now, who are just sort of like waiting for me to be able to hire them. And I brought them in as like advisors, or to weigh in periodically, or to brainstorm, to like keep them abreast of progress. But there's like people who I know, if I could like support myself with human capital, that there's so much amazing good work that like is genuinely stuff the community I'm trying to serve would find useful.
I'm getting like a strong feeling in my chest, like when I'm excited about an idea. And I'm just wondering if you've reconnected with those people at all, just to say hi in this period. And maybe if you take a step back to look at your big situation, you might have questions that you can ask them specifically.
That sounds like sound advice.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love it. The probable future destination is the Chariot. And this card says success that comes from dedication and self discipline, celebrating your accomplishments, and being in the spotlight. I feel like you're a fairly disciplined person, aren't you?
Yeah, other than with my sugar consumption.
Don't worry about, you have to make a lot of decisions, and the energy that you use to make decisions is also the energy you would use for willpower.
Mm.
So don't
Well,
try to make all these decisions and stop eating sugar at the same
thank you, Lindsay. That's my favorite part about this call.
time. So the Chariot. You have done great work so far. However, you undoubtedly still have many priorities that you are balancing at this time. You may be called upon to keep control of more than one driving force at a time. Stay centered, strong, and determined.
So don't give up.
Don't give up.
Stop looking for jobs on Craigslist.
Are you doing that?
Oh my God, I totally did. It was like 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, and I was like, I'm qualified for nothing other than prostitution.
I just, I just like, do you notice that your heart sinks as you're reading those things?
It's a little bit. I am much like you, not a believer in like fairies or whatever being the thing, but I do really believe in like intuitive senses between people and this kind of like dedicated thinking, whether it's with cards or like whatever tool you're using. And it just feels nice to have them tell me to not give up, because over the weekend I was like, what am I doing?
I can only relate that, like, I know so strongly that I'm not supposed to be working for other people. But there have been times where I'm like, look at jobs. And I can feel, just like I can feel the excitement with a good idea, I can feel this like heart wrenching tightness in my chest. And like, the quickest way to negativity is to just indulge that feeling. I try to remind myself that the energy that I would put into finding a job, if I put that energy into whatever I need to do for my business to make this work, I'd probably be better off in the second option. If this was me reading my own cards, I would say, okay, so the next thing I have to do is spend 2 hours in my own creative strategy session by myself. One of those things is that I need to start with like, what was my purpose? Like, start from the beginning. It'll all work out. It'll all work out.